Taewon stood at the entrance of the massive Galactic Confederation Academy space station, feeling both nervous and excited. The 16-year-old boy from Earth was making history as the first human exchange student ever admitted to the prestigious school. He adjusted the small breathing device on his collar, helping him adapt to the slightly different air mixture. The space station was beautiful, with tall crystal towers that caught the light of nearby stars. Taewon felt lighter than normal. The artificial gravity was set lower than Earth's natural pull. He smiled as he took a few bouncy steps, almost floating. "You must be the human student," said a voice behind him. Taewon turned to see a tall, skinny alien with 4 long arms and blue skin watching him with large golden eyes. The alien wore what looked like a school uniform but designed for its unusual body. "Yes, I'm Taewon," he said with a small bow. "Nice to meet you." "I am Nax," the alien replied without returning the gesture. "I have been assigned as your dormitory partner. Follow me to our living quarters." As they walked through the curved hallways, Taewon noticed many different types of aliens. Some floated like jellyfish, others had multiple legs, and a few looked almost like giant insects. All of them stared at him as he passed. "Is there something wrong with me?" Taewon whispered to Nax. "They are curious," Nax replied. "You are from a Class 12 planet. What does that mean?" "Earth is classified as a death world. High gravity, extreme weather patterns, dangerous wildlife, and violent geological activity. Most intelligent species evolve on much gentler worlds." Taewon laughed. "Earth isn't that bad." Nax stopped walking and looked at him with all 4 of his arms crossed. "Your planet has hurricanes, volcanoes, earthquakes, and predators that can kill with a single bite. Your oceans can drown you, your mountains can freeze you, and your deserts can burn you. And yet your species not only survived, but thrived there." "I never thought about it that way," Taewon said. They arrived at a round door that slid open when Nax waved his hand over a sensor. Inside was a simple room with 2 beds, though one was shaped like a shallow bowl. There was a desk, some shelves, and a window showing the stars outside. "The bathroom facilities are through that door," Nax pointed. "I recommend you rest. Classes begin tomorrow." After settling in, Taewon decided to explore the station. He found the main dining hall where different food stations served meals for various alien species. At the human station, he found simple foods like rice, vegetables, and some kind of meat substitute. As he sat alone to eat, a small group of alien students approached his table. One looked like a furry snake with tiny arms, another had skin like polished metal, and the third was short with 6 eyes arranged in a circle on its head. "May we join you?" asked the metal-skinned one in a musical voice. "Of course," Taewon replied, happy for the company. "I am Jiho," said the metal one. "These are my friends Sangmi and Han." "We have never met a human before," Sangmi the snake-like alien said. "Is it true you can lift 10 times your body weight?" Taewon almost choked on his food. "What? No, that's not true at all." "But you come from a high-gravity world," Han said, all 6 eyes blinking. "We heard humans are incredibly strong." "I'm just normal," Taewon said. "For a human, anyway." Their conversation was interrupted when a tall, official-looking alien approached the table. She had green scales and walked with perfect posture. "Student Taewon," she said formally. "I am Director Vel, your academic advisor. Please come with me to finalize your class schedule." In the director's office, Taewon sat across from her as she studied a glowing screen. "All students must participate in physical education," Director Vel said. "Given your planet's classification, you've been placed in the advanced class." "Advanced?" Taewon asked nervously. "But I'm not special. I was just average in sports back home." Director Vel's expression was hard to read on her alien face, but her voice sounded amused. "Average for a Deathworlder is exceptional here. Your first class is tomorrow morning. Don't be late." That night, Taewon lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering what he had gotten himself into. Back on Earth, he was just a regular kid who liked running and swimming. Now he was representing his entire species at a school full of aliens who thought humans were some kind of super beings. "Nax," he whispered into the dark room. "Are you awake?" Yes, came the reply. What's the advanced physical education class like? There was a long pause before Nax answered. Challenging. The instructor is Commander Corva, a veteran of the Galactic Defense Force. She is demanding. Taewon swallowed hard. Great. Do not worry, human. If Earth truly is as harsh as they say, you may surprise yourself with what you can do. As Taewon drifted off to sleep, he wondered what tomorrow would bring. He didn't feel special or super strong. But maybe compared to aliens from gentler worlds, being normal on Earth meant something different out here among the stars. Taewon woke up early, his heart beating fast in his chest. Today was his first physical education class at the Galactic Confederation Academy. He put on the school uniform, a light gray jumpsuit that adjusted to fit his body perfectly. You seem nervous, Nax said, watching Taewon from across the room, with his large golden eyes. Is it that obvious? Taewon tried to smile. Your species sweats when anxious. It's interesting, Nax said, pointing to Taewon's forehead with one of his 4 blue arms. They walked together to the gymnasium, a massive round room with a high ceiling. The walls could change to show different environments, and the floor could shift to create obstacles. Right now it looked like a normal gym with smooth floors and simple equipment. 20 alien students were already there, all different shapes and sizes. Some floated in the air, others crawled on many legs, and a few looked almost human except for their colorful skin or extra limbs. Look, it's the Deathworlder, someone whispered. The word spread quickly, and soon all eyes were on Taewon. A stocky, red-scaled alien with 6 eyes entered the room. She wore a tight black uniform with silver badges on the chest. The room instantly became quiet. I am Commander Corva, she announced in a deep voice. Today we evaluate basic physical capabilities for new students. She pointed to a course set, up across the gym. It had climbing walls, balance beams, weight stations, and speed tracks. Each student will complete this course at their own pace, Commander Corva explained. This helps me understand your strengths and weaknesses. The first few students took their turns. A tall, insect-like alien moved through the obstacles with amazing grace, but struggled with the weights. A floating jellyfish-type creature glided easily over some sections but had to work hard on others. Then came a reptilian student with green scales and powerful legs. He moved well, completing the course quickly while the other students cheered. That's Dorn, Nax whispered to Taewon. He's from one of the few moderate gravity worlds, the top athlete in our class. Dorn finished with what looked like a victory. Pose and Commander Corva nodded with approval. Human, she called out. You're next. Taewon walked to the starting line, feeling every eye on him. His hands were shaking. Begin when ready, Commander Corva said. Taewon took a deep breath and started moving. The first obstacle was a climbing wall. He grabbed the holds and pulled himself up easily. The low gravity made it feel like he was climbing in a swimming pool. His body felt light and responsive. On the balance beam, he walked steadily across. Then came the weights. He looked at the setting Dorn had used and matched it. The weights felt lighter than he expected. He increased the setting and lifted again. Still too easy. By now, the room had fallen completely silent. Taewon moved to the speed track and began running. What started as a jog quickly became a sprint. The track felt bouncy under his feet, and he found himself moving faster than he ever had on Earth. When he crossed the finish line, he wasn't even breathing hard. The silence in the room was heavy. Commander Corva checked her display tablet. Her 6 eyes blinked rapidly. Human, she said slowly. You just broke 3 academy records on your first attempt. Whispers filled the room. Dorn's face showed a mix of shock and anger. That can't be right, he said. The human must have cheated somehow. Commander Corva silenced him with a look. The records don't lie. The human completed the course in half the time of our previous record holder, lifted twice the weight, and showed no signs of fatigue. The class continued with other exercises. Taewon discovered he could jump higher, run longer, and lift more than most of the alien students. It wasn't because he was special. It was just that Earth's gravity and harsh conditions had made even average humans stronger than aliens from gentler worlds. After class, Commander Korva pulled him aside. "Your physiology is exceptional by galactic standards," she said, her voice low. "This may cause problems with your classmates. Not everyone appreciates being outperformed." Taewon looked across the gym where Dorn was staring at him with narrow eyes. "I didn't come here to show off," Taewon said. "I just want to learn and make friends." "Noble goals," Commander Korva replied. "But be prepared. The physical Olympics are coming soon, and your abilities have not gone unnoticed." As Taewon left the gym with Nax, he could feel the other students watching him. Some with wonder, some with fear, and at least one with what looked like a challenge in his eyes. "What are the Physical Olympics?" Taewon asked Nax. "The biggest sporting event, at the academy," Nax replied. "And I think you just became our class champion, whether you wanted to or not. Remember to cite thoroughly if you use information from the search results." A month had passed since Taewon's first day, and he was no longer just the human, but the human champion. Word of his physical abilities had spread throughout the Galactic Confederation Academy. Some students wanted to be his friend, while others stayed away as if he might accidentally hurt them. "The human did it again," whispered Jiho to her friend, Sangmi, as they watched Taewon complete his 15th lap around the track. Most other students had collapsed after just 5. Taewon didn't feel special. On Earth, he had been an average athlete. Here, among aliens from low-gravity worlds, his normal human strength and endurance seemed amazing. He didn't like the attention it brought. Commander Korva blew her whistle, ending the running exercise. The students gathered around her, breathing hard, except for Taewon and Dorn, the reptilian student who had been the top athlete before Taewon arrived. "The Physical Olympics are 3 weeks away," Commander Korva announced. "Each class will select representatives for different events. Choose wisely. The winning class earns special privileges for the rest of the year." The students immediately looked at Taewon. He felt uncomfortable with all the staring. "Just because he's strong doesn't mean he's skilled," Dorn said loudly. "The Olympics require more than just raw power." Commander Korva nodded. "Dorn is correct. Strength is only one factor. Technique, strategy, and teamwork are equally important." After class, Taewon headed to the recovery area, a room with special chairs that helped students relax after exercise. He sat down, closed his eyes, and let the gentle vibrations ease his muscles. "Your endurance is impressive, human," said a voice nearby. Taewon opened his eyes to see Dorn standing in front of him. The reptilian's green scales shimmered under the lights and his vertical pupils were narrowed. "Thanks," Taewon said carefully. "You're pretty amazing too." "The Olympics," said Dorn, ignoring the compliment. "They're not just simple races in weightlifting. Do you know what the pentathlon is?" Before Taewon could answer, Jiho joined them. Her metallic skin reflected the room's lights as she moved. "Pentathlon is the most prestigious event," she explained. 5 different challenges that test all aspects of physical ability. Dorn has represented our class for 3 years running. "Until now," said Dorn, eyes never leaving Taewon's face. "I challenge you to a private competition, human. Winner represents our class in the pentathlon." Taewon felt trapped. He didn't want to compete against Dorn, but he also didn't want to look weak in front of everyone. "Why not work together?" he suggested. "There must be team events we could both join." Dorn's tail swished back and forth. "The pentathlon is individual. Only one can represent our class. If you're afraid to compete—" "I'm not afraid," Taewon said quickly. "I accept your challenge." Word of the competition spread fast. By dinner time, everyone in the academy knew about it. As Taewon sat with Nax in the dining hall, students from other classes came by to look at him. "You shouldn't have accepted," Nax said, using 2 of his forearms to eat while the others gestured. "Dorn knows all the events. He's been training for years." "What choice did I have?" Taewon asked. "He called me out in front of everyone." "Dorn is smart," Nax said. "The pentathlon includes zero-gravity combat. Your Earth strength won't help you there." Taewon's stomach tightened. "Zero-gravity combat? I don't know how to fight." Exactly, Nax said. Dorn challenged you because he knows the events that will neutralize your advantages. Later, Taewon couldn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling of his room, thinking about the challenge ahead. He had never meant to become a competitor or a champion. He just wanted to learn about alien cultures and make friends. The door slid open, and Nax entered. The blue alien sat on his bowl-shaped bed and looked at Taewon with his golden eyes. "I've been thinking," Nax said. "Perhaps I can help you prepare for the zero-gravity sections. My species evolved in variable gravity environments. I know techniques that might work for your body type." Taewon sat up, surprised. "You'd help me? Why?" "Because Dorn has been champion too long," Nax said, all four arms crossed. His pride needs balancing. "Also, you are my dormitory partner. It reflects poorly on me if you fail completely." Taewon smiled for the first time that day. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet," Nax said. "The competition is in 3 days and we have much work to do. Meet me in the practice gym at midnight. Bring water. You will need it." The gymnasium was empty after hours, lit only by dim emergency lights. Taewon floated in the middle of the zero-gravity zone, trying to control his spinning. For 3 nights, Nax had been teaching him how to move without gravity, but progress was slow. "Keep your core tight," Nax called from the edge of the zone. "Small movements only. Use your fingers, not your whole arm." Taewon tried again, gently pushing off a wall with just his fingertips. He glided across the space more smoothly this time. "Better," Nax said. "But Dorn has been doing this since childhood. You need more practice." Just then, the doors slid open. Dorn entered, looking surprised to see them. "Training in secret?" Dorn asked, his scaled face showing a smile that wasn't friendly. "It won't help you. The gymnasium is open to all students," Nax replied coolly. Dorn stepped into the zero-gravity zone with practiced ease, floating toward Taewon. "Perhaps the human would like a practice match." Before Taewon could answer, Dorn pushed off a wall and spun through the air, grabbing Taewon's arm and using the momentum to send him tumbling. "Your strength means nothing without technique," Dorn said, executing a perfect spiraling maneuver that made him look like he was swimming through air. Taewon tried to copy the move but only managed to spin himself upside down. Dorn laughed. Suddenly, warning lights flashed red. A computerized voice announced, "Warning, gravity system malfunction. Emergency protocols engaged." "What's happening?" Taewon asked, trying to orient himself as the lights continued to flash. "The gravity controls are unstable," Nax called, his voice tense. "We should leave immediately." Before they could react, the zero-gravity zone began to pulse. One moment they were floating, the next they were being pulled down, then floating. Again. The pulses became stronger each time. "This is bad," Dorn said, his confident attitude gone. "If it goes to full Earth gravity suddenly." The system beeped loudly and a crushing force pulled them all down. For Taewon, it felt like normal Earth gravity, uncomfortable but manageable. For Dorn and Nax, it was potentially lethal. Taewon looked over to see Dorn collapsed on the floor, his body pinned by the sudden heavy gravity. The reptilian's face showed pain and fear. Nax was at the room's edge, protected by the regular gravity zone but unable to help. "Can't breathe," Dorn gasped. His scales were darkening as he struggled. Without hesitation, Taewon crawled toward Dorn. The gravity felt like home to him, but he could see it was crushing his classmate. Reaching Dorn, he positioned himself above the reptilian, creating a small space between Dorn and the full force of the gravity. "Control panel. Wall." Dorn pointed weakly to a small panel across the room. "Nax," Taewon called. "The control panel. Reset the system." Nax moved carefully along the wall, staying in the normal gravity zone, and reached the panel. After a few tense moments, the emergency lights stopped flashing, and the crushing gravity eased. Taewon helped Dorn sit up. The reptilian student breathed deeply, his scales slowly returning to their normal green color. "Why did you help me?" Dorn asked, looking confused. "I have been your rival, not your friend." "On Earth, we help people in danger," Taewon said simply. It doesn't matter if they're friends or not. The three students moved to the recovery room nearby. Dorn sat on one of the vibrating chairs, still looking shaken. "What you experienced," he said to Taewon. "That crushing force. That's normal." "On your world?" Taewon nodded. "Earth gravity is stronger than here. That's why I seem so strong to everyone. But it's not special. All humans live with that gravity." Dorn was quiet for a while, then said, "I've been thinking about your world all wrong. I saw your strength as an unfair advantage. But now I understand. You evolved in conditions that would kill me. And I couldn't survive on your world without training," Taewon added. "Each species has different strengths. The pentathlon," Dorn said suddenly. "It's not just about winning. It's about showing the best abilities of different species. If I compete, I show only reptilian skills. If you compete, you show only human skills." "What are you suggesting?" Nax asked. "Perhaps," Dorn hesitated. "Perhaps we need a new approach for the Olympics. Not competing against each other, but working together, combining our different strengths." Taewon smiled slowly. "Like a team?" "Commander Korva said teamwork is important," Dorn admitted. "I never understood why until now. My technique and your endurance together would be unbeatable. And my knowledge of different gravity environments," Nax added, all four arms gesturing excitedly. "So," Taewon said, "instead of a private competition tomorrow, we plan a new strategy," Dorn finished. "For all of us." The day of the Confederation Academy Physical Olympics arrived with great excitement. Students filled the massive arena, their voices creating a buzz that echoed through the space. Colorful banners representing each class hung from the high ceiling. Large screens showed different areas of the competition floor. Taewon stood with his classmates in their preparation area. His heart beat quickly as he looked at the other teams. Some alien species he had never seen before were warming up with strange movements. Others were testing equipment or talking in small groups. "Nervous?" Jiho asked, her metallic skin reflecting the bright lights. "A little," Taewon admitted. "Everything's changed so quickly." After the gravity accident, Dorn had convinced Commander Korva to try something new. Instead of sending individual champions to each event, their class would enter as a mixed-species team. At first, the commander had been skeptical, but she eventually agreed to let them try. "Everyone ready?" Dorn asked, joining them. The reptilian student had become a different person since that night in the gym, less proud, more focused on the team. Nax nodded, his forearms adjusting the team's special uniforms he had designed. "Each suit has been modified for your specific body type and event." The announcement system chimed, and a voice called all teams to the center area. The students walked out together to loud cheers from the crowd. Taewon saw many aliens looking at him with curiosity. The human competitor was big news at the academy. Director Vel stood on a platform, her green scales shining under the lights. "Welcome to the 84th Confederation Academy Physical Olympics. Today's events will test strength, speed, agility, and teamwork. May the best class win." The first event was the vertical challenge, a massive climbing wall with changing handholds and obstacles. Sang-mi, with her 6 arms and flexible body, represented their class. She moved up the wall with amazing speed, using all her limbs to grab the shifting holds. When she reached the top, their class erupted in cheers. They were in first place. Next came the aerial course. Jiho glided through the floating rings and barriers, her metallic body reflecting light as she spun and twisted. She finished second, keeping their team near the top of the scoreboard. The third event was the precision course, a complex path requiring careful movement and exact timing. Dorn took this challenge, his reptilian reflexes allowing him to navigate the course perfectly. Another first-place finish. Then came the event Taewon had been dreading, the high-gravity segment. A special section of the arena was set to 3 times normal gravity. Most alien competitors struggled to even move in this environment. "Remember what we discussed?" Nax said as Taewon prepared to enter. "Pace yourself. You don't need to be fast, you just need to finish." Taewon nodded and stepped into the high-gravity zone, Immediately, he felt the familiar weight of Earth. While it was comfortable for him, he could see other competitors collapsing or moving extremely slowly. He walked steadily through the course, completing each obstacle with care. The crowd watched, in amazement as he moved normally in conditions that crippled the other aliens. When he finished, their class moved into first place overall. Only the final event remained, the team relay race through mixed gravity zones. "This is where our strategy pays off," Dorn said as they gathered for the last event. "Each of us will run the section that matches our strengths." Their plan was simple but clever. Nax would handle the variable gravity section, Dorn would take the zero gravity zone, Sang-Mi would run the climbing segment, and Tae-Wan would anchor, with the high gravity finish. The race began with Nax pushing off perfectly in the changing gravity, gaining them an early lead. He tagged Dorn, who spiraled through the zero gravity section with practiced ease. Sang-Mi climbed quickly to the next level, her multiple arms working together. When she reached Taiwan for the final handoff, they were neck and neck with the leading team. Tae-Wan took the baton and entered the high gravity zone. Other competitors slowed dramatically, but he maintained his pace, pushing through the heavy weight that felt like home. He crossed the finish line first, and the stadium erupted in wild cheers. Their classmates rushed to surround them, lifting all 4 team members onto their shoulders. Commander Korva actually smiled, something students claimed had never happened before. Later, at the awards ceremony, Director Vell presented them with the championship trophy. "Today we witnessed something remarkable," she announced. "Not just athletic skill, but the true purpose of the Confederation, bringing different species together to achieve what none could do alone." As Taiwan stood with his teammates, he realized how much had changed. He had arrived feeling like an outsider, a strange human among aliens. Now he understood that each species had their own strengths and weaknesses. Together, they were stronger than any single champion could be. "Next year will be even better," Dorn said, standing beside him. "Now that we understand how to work together." "I think," Tae-Wan replied with a smile, "this is just the beginning."